Say hello. Hey, Moo. Say hello. Good morning, guys. There's my little sweetie. She hides from the camera. Look at her dancing. We're watching the fight in Zaire. We got our PLDT, went in yesterday. This is how they ran it. And what happened was they ran it through here. We were going to run it through this pipe, just pull these wires out, but being that it's in Smurf tube, it's like stuck. So there's no way we could get this pulled out so that we could pull the new wire that they needed in. And since they already had the connection there, they couldn't put it over here. They couldn't put it here so that we could have just popped through the wall with it, which would have been better. But who'd have thunk that, you know, the Smurf tube got smushed somewhere, so there's no pulling that wire out. I wouldn't even know if this stuff would work, you know. So that's just what you get. So I wanted to tell you, we got our electric bill yesterday. They actually sent us a bill. It looks more like a receipt. I still didn't see any kilowatt hour on it, but it was more than double again than what we always paid. Now, last month when we got that ridiculous high bill, and it didn't give us any dates on it, but then when we got this bill, they said it's always from the 30th to the 30th. So we only got charged for that month. Morning, fellas. They're getting them done. That's how they build them. This should be a little bit clearer. And they went ahead and gave us that bill. Well, this one here, the InstaHot upstairs doesn't work. The one downstairs, I shut it off. And we really don't run fans in this house. We had a really big fan that ran almost 24 hours a day in the other house. And a little one upstairs, if anyone was upstairs. And we had the big fridge, so I don't know what the deal is. Why, you know, it's got to be the kilowatt hour charge. I looked at the bill, they got all kinds of charges on there. You know, there's a monastery charge, and, you know, the bill was $1,900, which I would believe, but by the time they were done, it went up to $2,800 with all these other charges that they're letting. I got some kind of monastery fee that I'm paying. I don't know, are we paying the electricity to the monastery? Is that so? Battle-X said, okay, we're going to pay for your electricity. Yeah, though benevolent people paid for it with our money. So I guess I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking out loud. But there's Tatai's boy working. That's how they cut the grass, guys. He's been working on this morning. It's still pretty early. Right now, I'm doing the video. I kicked it from 720 30 frames per second, and then what I was loading up to the internet was even less because it took so long. And so today what I did, I just kicked it up to 1080p, and then and then I went to 60 frames a second, and we'll see how fast this internet will load it to YouTube. Now when the Faye did something on the tablet, downloaded some kind of movie or something, and boom, it was I think it was 4 hours worth of Looney Tunes or something like that. I don't know, and it loaded real quick. It was like super fast. So we're gonna see what the heck happens with that. Hopefully it'll be really quick with this. I did a little test video earlier, just so I could put it to my phone. It takes a long time to load it to the phone, but that's cool. The phone doesn't, you know, I got to stay there and make sure it doesn't shut off and all that. But that's just going to be that way. That's just how fast the phone is. I'm looking at a laptop. I just found a laptop on a pretty good price, and I'd like to buy that. Hopefully it'll speed that process up, because then I can go straight from the camera with a cord and plug it in. There's another house for you guys to look at. This is how they build them, guys. This is how they do it. And there's the back of those houses. Just want to let you guys see that. They're working. They worked yesterday. Coco and all them guys worked yesterday. So half a day. but their half a day is 6 hours. You know, they really hump here. So I hope this it loads quickly, and that we can have a real nice better quality on the pictures. Whenever I do a motorcycle ride, I'll kick it up to the 4K. Because that's always real pretty. I actually they lower it through YouTube anyway. So I'll do my first one on this 1080p at 60 frames a second, and we'll see how good that goes. And if it looks really good, because right now the one I did, just my little quick test one on the TV, was just unbelievable how clear it was on the TV. I mean, you could even count my nose hairs. It was pretty good. And then I took some pictures of the house. Like I took a picture here. You can see our air conditioner brackets we put up, and we got our air conditioner. I doubt we'll be really using them much. I seriously doubt it. I know we won't be using them at night because we got such a breeze through there. But if we get a super hot day, it might be nice just to close the house up and give it a whirl. Give it a try. We're not getting too much of a musties. I had noticed a little bit of smell under the kitchen cabinet, and I did a couple days where I just left the doors open. Left the doors open of the cabinets overnight, and it's not musty. We cleaned it, and it's not musty in there at all. So we don't seem to get the musty and fungus like we were getting at the up in Carmona area. I think it's because the change, the change in the temperature there compared to here. Guys, if you really can't take the heat, if you like cold weather, like my friends from Sweden that come up here, Anders and Håkon, they didn't seem to mind it in Tagaitai. I didn't like it. I was freezing my butt off, and that was too cold there for me. But if you like that kind of weather, Tagaitai is a good place to go that I know of. If you like the heat, I love the heat. Carmona is a really good place, but this place right here, Lipa City, is like a happy medium. It's in between Tagaitai and Carmona, because Carmona actually had some downright stinking hot days. I mean, just hot and no breeze. Here we always got a breeze, it seems. I guess because of the mountains. But we always got some air moving. Look at it right now. Look at that breeze moving right now. So it's always like that. I hope they get in here and are able to send a crew in and cut this grass. They never did change the water meter. We got that ridiculous amount of water we used last month that no way we could use that. Something, the other house we had really good pressure. I was taking showers. I didn't have an Instahot, but I was still taking showers in that house. We had really good pressure upstairs, and I was even showering the kids. Here we're taboing, but we just don't. There's not enough pressure here. There's no water pressure to use all this water they say we're using. And I asked them to change the meter, and nothing. They haven't changed the meter. Another thing we pay here is a 400 peso a month street light charge. That's a separate charge, and a bunch of these solar jobs that they put up are already not working. They'll work for just a little while and then quit, which is it's kind of a bummer. But I don't think these solar things are the way to go. Now I have my little one I put up here, but it's a motion detector. It only comes on motion. It's not going to try to run all night because the battery will never handle it. Same way with those ones right there. That one there goes super dim, and then it turns bright when you walk underneath it. That one doesn't. The one right in the center of the camera, and what happens to it just fries out. By midnight, it's fried out. Okay, it lasts about 5-6 hours now, and it's done. And then that one right in the middle of the camera there, you can't really see it. That's on regular electricity. Now my neighbor, he has a really good solar setup. He put his own big solar panel and a nice big light, and he's got his battery pack there, and it's a good size battery pack. It's bigger than a motorcycle battery type size. And that thing, ever since we've been here, and even when we were coming here around, that he said that thing's been working great. He paid a little bit for it, but he had that put up, and that thing is very, very bright. It's not motion center. It's just on all the time, and I have never seen it out. It shuts off in the morning, Usually at around about 5:30 it shuts off because the sky's getting blue and the sensor shuts it off then. But it comes on early at night, and I don't see him having any problems with that one. But these ones just have a little internal battery, and you know it can't be very big. It's like this one here. It's wafer batteries. They're not like a cell battery. They're just flat wafer batteries that they got in there, and I don't think they're going to hold up. And then they're going to, it's cheaper to buy another one. This one I didn't pay much for, but it's doing exactly what I want. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to come off. I actually had the cats going underneath there, and they were setting it off, so I changed the sensitivity a little bit. There's a little adjustment in there on the sensitivity, and then what I did was I had that lady cat, and I'd hold her right here, and I just give her a toss out there. If she walks, if she walks like right here, yeah, it'll kick it on. There's nothing I can do about it. But if she's out here, if she's out in this area, it doesn't kick on. Only when she's real close. And she doesn't come through there. She usually goes over the side and jumps the fence. So, but that's our little kitty. We had the little ones out on a lot of bike rides, and they want to go again today. So we're going to get the old steed going. I got the chain all oiled up. Everything seems to be adjusted pretty good. Before I go, I'm going to check the air pressure in the tires again. That back one, I don't know if it's low or not, but I always like to check them. I got a really nice, in the back of the car, I got a really nice tire checker. It's really easy to check. It's a dial one, and it locks, so I don't even have to look. I just put it on, and then pull it off, and it locks to where it's at, and then you just push the button again to release it. That's what I like. I hate the ones where you got to try to stick it on and angle your head around to try to see the dial. So this one works much better. I also like the old ones that were the stick ones, like a pencil, and they stuck the little white rod out. That's what I used for most of my life. But one thing you'll find here when you're filling up your tires at these gas stations, they don't always work. If these guys will wind up, if they'll wind the thing up to whatever weight you want, let's say you want to put 30 pounds in your tire on your car, and they'll wind it up to 30, and then you go ahead and fill your tire up. Guess what? There ain't no way that's 30, because I have two of those pencil ones, and I have two dial ones, and the one of them is a Clinton tool and gauge. It's a super good one. It's the best gauge. It works great. I put all of them on my tires, and I got 20 pounds on them. I put 4 gauges on that tire. I had him put air in, and he pumped it. I wanted it at 30, and it didn't look like 30 to me. So I came and pumped them up to 30 and put my gauge on it, and it was at 30. So you can't trust these. You got to have your own tire pressure gauge. You can't trust these gas stations for these guys to, and they don't know any better. They just turn it to that. So when I go to the gas station, I'll turn it up to 45 and have my gauge right there. And when it looks like it's about right, then I'll put the gauge on. Morning. Hi, driver. Little guy's driving grandma around. That's pretty cool. But so watch that when you're checking your pressures. But the motorcycle pressure, I tell you right now, that is something that if you're a motorcycle rider, you stay on top of that, because that'll get you down on the ground quick, fast, and in a hurry. You got to really keep your tires. I usually check them every time I go out. When we're just driving around in here, I check them every 2 or 3rd time. But if we're going out on the road out there, that's my pre-ride thing I do. I check the tire pressure. It's just absolutely. I don't mess around with it. Now this one here, what I did, I've done this on all my vehicles. I did it to the car, I did it to the bike. I have the little tool, and I pull the valve out, put a little bit of Vaseline on there, and then put it back in. Just a light grease coating on there, because I've had valves leak. When you're always checking and using it all the time, I've had valves that just went bad. I didn't have a hole in my tire, I had a hole in the valve, leak in the valve. So I started putting, years ago, back when I had my old 51 Plymouth, I started putting a little bit of Vaseline on there, and old mechanic said, hey, put a little Vaseline on there. And that's what I did, and guess what? It ended the problem. I've never had a valve leak since, and I did that to this bike the day I got it. I pulled them out and put a little bit on there. I do the same thing with the propane tank. I've seen people that have propane tanks that leak and they got to buy a new regulator. Nothing wrong with the regulator, it's just the gasket, and you can't buy the gasket. So your propane tank too, when you pull that little yellow thing out of it, make sure that's good and clean in there, because there could be grit in there and crap. Clean that out. And then what I do is I put just a little tiny bit of Vaseline on my finger, and I put it on the gasket. I put a little bit on that gasket in there, and we never have any propane leaks at all. And the other thing on your propane tanks, there's a packing nut in there. You'll get leaks on there. I've had them where they brought them to me, and they're leaking from there. You can smell it. So you just get a crescent wrench and crank that down a little bit. Crank that packing nut. One of them, even though I cranked it down, it was still leaking. So we called the guy right away, and he came out, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he said, "Okay," and he took it back. He took the thing back, and he brought us another one. So that was really cool. That was our regular guy we got. Here I got to buy some propane again. But this month we got, I can get one or the other. I was going to get the cabinet outside or that nice table for underneath the thing. So we're going to just worry about setting up the inside. We found a really nice table. So as soon as my pay gets through with this TransferWise, I did want to mention too about the Remitly. A lot of you guys, that if you're going to get Remitly and you want to use that as a service, because it's a lot faster than TransferWise, you have to set it up while you're in the States and while you have a ID, like a driver's license or something, ID from the States that has your address on it. Because once you're here in this country and you download the Remitly app, they want an address, and there's no place to put an address in the Philippines. It's only American. They only give you the 50 states, and you can't. So if you put one on, then they say, "Oh, you got to show an ID with that address," and I don't have an old ID, so that sucks. That really sucks. I have a Canadian ID with an address on it, but it doesn't give you a thing for Canadian. For a Canadian address. I don't know why. I guess people from Canada don't send money. I don't know. But there's no way you can get a hold of these people to talk to them, to see. So I just tell you, if you're going to do any kind of these money transfer places, try to set them up while you're there. If you're planning on moving here, try to set them all up while you're there, while you got all your addresses and everything. I have no identifications at all that give an address to the U.S. anymore. None. They're all... I do have I probably could get it done. I think I do have a California driver's license somewhere. I'd have to hunt it. We moved. If I can find that, I might be able to get the Remitly. I have it on the phone, and I use it to check prices, because I can still check prices. I just can't send anything. It always pops up, finish your stuff you got to do, and I just click away from that, and then I put in the amount and see what the exchange rate is. And it's always poor compared to TransferWise. Well, it's just called Wise now. It's always a lot more. I'm paying a little bit less than 1% now on the TransferWise. And they give you breaks too here and there. When I did a transfer before, they gave me a break. But the bad thing is, right now, I transferred on the evening of I believe it was the 30th. It was up last Friday, and I'm not going to get money till Thursday. So we're looking at 7 days. That's just ridiculous to transfer money in this day and age. That just absolutely seems ridiculous to me. That can happen. And some people say, "Oh, well, Wells Fargo will transfer it in minutes, and Western Union, all that." Yeah, I know they do, but you pay a huge amount. So this TransferWise company, I don't think they're spending the money on their infrastructure to get things done. I think they're just da-di-da-di-da. They'll get her done, and we're not gonna make our company better, because we're already making money, so heck with it. I think that must be what's happening right now with TransferWise. So if it's cool that you wait, they do save you some money. But if you have to get money in a hurry, they're definitely not the place to work. Now, if I needed to get money, normally, okay, if they're going to dick me around like that, I'll just go take my debit card and get some money out. But my debit card got hacked, And of course, you guys ought to know how mail in this country is fast. The bank sent me my stuff, and they have a track on that card for me, and they told me last week that it hit the Philippines. You know, so it's real quick to get it from the U.S. to here, to go all them thousands of miles. But once it hits the Philippines, to go from their main post office to here could take a month or more. You know, their mail is just really different than the States. It's not set up well. They deliver it on a motorcycle. They get a letter in the post office, and the guy will drive all the way from the post office out to your house, and then they do really stupid stuff. The guys delivered mail at the last house we were at, and a letter came for my wife that we needed, and she wasn't there at the time, and he wouldn't give it to me. I said, "Pal, that's my wife. This is her house. Give me the letter." Nope. I mean, that's the stupid kind of shit. What happened to whatever mail comes to the house? You just give it to them. Now, somebody who didn't even live there, that same guy left some mail in the box when we weren't home, and those people had moved out. They had been gone. So when he came back, I says, "Hey, what's up with you? You won't give me mail while I'm standing here that belongs to my wife, but you leave somebody else's. You leave somebody else. What's the matter with you?" So I give it back to him, and then my wife was there. So I said, tell this guy, when there's mail to be delivered, just give it to whoever's here. I don't care if it's in my name. My wife get it. You know, she can get it. I don't give a dang if whoever's here, get the mail. But that's something you'll see. It's really frustrating on the mail too, how long it takes. Now, a lot of the stuff that comes in here, I don't care. I really don't care. But when I get, like when we got a check coming, it takes so long, because even here it takes so long for a bank to break these checks. You know, they'll hold them. We had one that they held for 6 months. It was a bank check. It was a regular bank check, and them guys held it for 6 months. But even though they had the check, I called up the bank up in Canada, and I said, did it clear? And they said, yeah, we've dispersed the funds. Okay, great. That was only 3-4 weeks after they sent it. It got to me pretty quick on that one, and I took it to the bank the day I got it, and that was in February, I believe. And I got the dang money in August. That's how long they sat on it at these banks here. So you got to be real careful how you do your money. I recommend. I know for one thing they have the HCB. What is that? I forget the one. The bank. HCBC. Okay. I have an account there, but I didn't open it in the States. But if you can open one of those in the States before you come here. I know they got them in California all over the place. They got a big corporate center there in California, because I did some electrical work for them. We put all their lighting in for them and ran their building for them when they were putting it up. And it's a huge place. It's their corporate headquarters. So get that one. If you're flying out here, just have your plane fly to LA and take your flight from LA to however you're going to get here, so that you can go somewhere and open up an account. Because if you open up an account through them, then you can have your money. If you're getting a lot of guys are getting VA pension, from military and stuff like that, or like me from IBW, then what you can do is have it put in there, and then boom, you can get your money out of the bank here. Any of them. A lot of guys have told me they've done that. Before they left. So that would be a recommendation. It'll save you some money. Right now, I'm paying, it's 45, 48 bucks some months. It depends on how it's going. But they hit me pretty good on these fees a month. Now, it's a lot better than doing it through the debit card, because the debit card, if you go to any other bank other than BPI, they only let you take out 10,000 pesos at a time, and they charge you $5, 250 peso. And if you go to BPI, they'll let you take out 20 at a time, but they're going to charge you $5, and then whatever your bank charges. So that can get expensive. That can get really expensive. We only ever do that if we're in a pinch. If we're in a pinch for money. And here, this place is it's still eating money. It's just constant money. So it's the way it's going to be. It's just the way it's going to be until we're finished. We still got stuff to do. I still got a light I want to put up in the bedroom upstairs. We got window treatments we got to do yet. They're going to come and fix these screen doors. I don't like how those screen doors wound up. He's going to put a solid panel in there. You got this, the way the wind's blowing. The wind blowing is doing this, bulge these panels out. And it bowed down, it's crappy. So he's going to come back and put a solid panel in there and pop rivet it in instead of it just sliding into the slot. He's going to pop rivet it so it stays nice and tight. So that's going to be real good. And I do like the job that was done on these up there. And I know with this camera you can see that really good. But you look at my lights, even when we run these outside lights, those are only 7 watt. We don't really run anything. Why this electric bill's so high. The washing machine, we run that also, but that's no more than what we ever run before. And actually, when Grandma's here, she washes in the bucket. I called on washing her clothes on a rock down by the river. She still washes the clothes in a dang bucket. Says she gets some cleaner. Well, I guess there's a lot of dirty people in the Western civilization, because I don't know anybody who washed their clothes in a bucket other than it was gentle stuff and they washed it in the sink. But I never washed anything in a bucket my whole life. I had washing machines. Even when I was young, I had a double bowl Ringer washing machine. The place that I moved into, it was down in the basement, and I asked the landlord, whose machine is that? And they said, oh, it was here when I got here. You can use it. And then when I moved out, it was a Maytag, and when I moved out, I says, hey, I really like that machine, can I have it? And he's like, yeah, sure, take it, I don't care, I don't want the damn thing. And he says, you're the only one who ever used it, nobody would touch it. And then when I moved it to my place, after I bought a place, I went ahead and had the rollers redone. There's actually, you get a hold of Maytag, they still make a single bowl Ringer washer. They still made one when I bought that one. That was in the 80s. And then all the way up through the 90s. And I got a brand new set of rollers for it. It had the rinse tub, and that thing was just a heavy duty. I used it for work clothes and stuff because I'd get pretty dirty and grubby on jobs. When I was real young, I was doing a lot of underground and, where you're just getting really crappy climbing through attics. And because I didn't do all new work, I was doing a lot of old work too. So, but I'm going to go ahead and let you go. And it's another beautiful day. We got kind of a hazy sun, and I hope you can see. I think that with this new 1080p at 60 frames per second, you can see how they build these houses a lot better. I kind of don't like that corner, I'll be honest with you. I do not like that. I do not like that corner at all. If I'd have been here and would see them building, I wouldn't have had the corner window. I would have kept the one upstairs, but the downstairs one I wouldn't have kept a corner window in there. But the way they did the house, they didn't take it all the way from the bottom and go up anyway. They started a wall here, so that's just their design. But they seem to be holding up, and I think I'd have made this solid too. If I could have been here, I would have had them put another thing and then block this area off just to close it, so I could have put a door in here. Because that's why I had the guys put the wire up above, because we're going to come out of here with an awning, and all the way from there to this side, and then we're going to bring it all the way out to here with a good awning, and then over on this side, right here, we're going to take an awning over, and we're going to just take it all the way here, all the way around here, and we're going to awning all the way around here. We're going to bring it, and then this is the laundry room, and we're going to have this roofed also. And I might put, so we don't lose the light in the house, I'm thinking of using especially on the back here, like a fiber. The front I'll use regular some kind of a good roofing, something that's quiet. And then on the back I'll use like a green or clear or translucent fiberglass so that we get the light through there, because I don't want the house to turn into a dungeon. You know, doesn't matter here what we do, but I don't want the house to be a dungeon. It's a very bright house. I like that. We don't have to put lights on all the time. So that's just the way that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I hope you all have a nice day. Don't forget to pray for our leaders. I hope they turn this big thing they're doing around soon. You know, it would be really nice if after this lockdown that they'll say, hey, guess what? You know, either it worked, we're not going to do them anymore, or it doesn't work, we're going to try something different. I hope something like that happens. I really do. Grandma went on the bus today, and she's going back to get her shots. From what she told Faye is that where she lives, the Barangay Hall helps them out with stuff. Helps them out with, I don't know if it's money or food or whatever. Maybe utilities, I don't know, but she said they help them out. Well, one of the things that happened to her was they came and said, look, you come and get the shot, because if you don't get the shot, we're not going to help you anymore. You know, this is where we're at on this stuff. You know, people are being coerced into this, and I just don't understand that. They never coerced you to get a flu shot before. Why are they coercing people to get a flu shot now? It just seems really odd to me. So you guys all take care. Pray for these leaders. Pray for divine guidance in all this. You know, it's really something. You know, I saw a really funny meme. I posted it on my one video. You know, every morning I wake up and wonder what chapter of Revelations we're going to be in today. Serious, guys. The stuff is coming. Look, they're doing the calf. They're getting ready to do the red calf, or what do they call it, the red heifer and all that stuff. Start looking into this stuff. Good guy to watch too. I like that Nelson Waters. Watch some of his stuff, and you know, just there's a few of them I watch, and I listen to these guys. I forget the other guy's name. There's a heavy set guy with a black beard. Gets on there. He's pretty sharp, other than Gene Kim. And you know, watch these guys. They're going to give you a sign. You know, it's like when you're driving in your car, and it's you need to go to Indianapolis, Indiana. You're going to start seeing signs before you get there, and then you're going to get off at your exit unless you miss it. But you're going to know that you're there, and the signs of the times, guys. I mean, it's getting clearer and clearer every day. So, you know, the Antichrist hasn't appeared yet. Some people say, oh, you know, this shot's the mark of the beast and all that. I don't think so. Just my opinion. I don't think so. I just don't. So, y'all take care. And this is Rick Shaw out.